The evening light filtered through our bedroom curtains as I climbed the stairs, laptop bags slung over my shoulder. 6 years together, 2 of them married, and our routine had settled into something comfortable and predictable. Sarah's laughter drifted up from the kitchen where she was preparing dinner, the familiar sound of her humming along to whatever podcast she had playing. It was the kind of ordinary Sunday that I'd grown to treasure. I pushed open the bedroom door, expecting nothing more than to grab my laptop and head back downstairs. The room smelled faintly of her perfume, that same vanilla scent she'd worn since our 3rd date. Her small black suitcase lay open on the bed like a mouth waiting to be fed, half-packed with the usual business trip essentials. Crisp white blouses, tailored trousers, her leather portfolio. But it was the flash of red that stopped me cold. Nestled between a navy blazer and her travel toiletries was something that made my breath catch. Red lace, delicate and intricate, with a design I'd never seen before. A thong with a small circular loop at the top, paired with a matching bra that looked like it belonged in a boutique window rather than a business suitcase. My hands trembled as I lifted the corner of the blazer, revealing more. A black set underneath, equally provocative, equally foreign to the woman I thought I knew. Sarah, who complained about underwire bras being uncomfortable. Sarah, who rolled her eyes at Victoria's Secret commercials and lived in cotton boy shorts and sports bras. Sarah, who hadn't worn anything remotely seductive since our honeymoon phase had faded into comfortable domesticity. The room suddenly felt too small, the air too thin. I sat heavily on the edge of the bed, staring at the suitcase as if it might offer some explanation. My mind raced through possibilities, each one more painful than the last. Maybe she'd bought them for me, as a surprise for when she returned? But no, she was packing them to take away. Maybe she was planning to surprise me with photos? The thought felt hollow even as I tried to convince myself. "Dinner's almost ready," her voice called from downstairs, bright and cheerful and completely at odds with the storm brewing in my chest. I closed the suitcase carefully, ensuring everything looked exactly as I'd found it. My laptop forgotten, I made my way downstairs on unsteady legs, trying to arrange my face into something resembling normalcy. Dinner was torture disguised as domesticity. Sarah had made my favorite pasta dish, the one with the cream sauce that always reminded me of our 2nd anniversary when she'd attempted to recreate a meal from our favorite restaurant. She'd failed spectacularly that night, and we'd ended up ordering pizza and laughing until our sides hurt. Tonight, the sauce was perfect, but it tasted like ash in my mouth. "You're quiet tonight," she observed, twirling linguine around her fork with practiced ease. "Long day." I watched her face carefully, searching for tells, for signs of deception. Her brown eyes, the ones I'd fallen in love with at a coffee shop 6 years ago, looked back at me with nothing but mild concern. No guilt, no anxiety, no indication that she was planning to model expensive lingerie for anyone other than her husband. "Just tired," I managed, pushing food around my plate. "Work's been stressful. I know the feeling." She reached across the table to squeeze my hand, her wedding ring catching the light from the pendant lamp above us. "This presentation tomorrow has me wound up tight. Johnson's going to be there, and you know how he gets when numbers aren't exactly what he wants to hear." I nodded, making appropriate sounds of sympathy while my mind screamed. She was so normal, so perfectly Sarah, discussing work politics and weekend plans as if she wasn't carrying secrets in her suitcase upstairs. Either she was an accomplished actress, or I was losing my mind. "Will you miss me?" she asked with a playful smile, the kind that used to make my heart skip. Tonight it felt like a knife twist. "Always do," I replied automatically, the words feeling foreign on my tongue. After dinner, we settled on the couch for our usual Sunday night routine. Sarah curled against my side, her head on my shoulder as we half-watched some cooking show she'd queued up. Her hair smelled like her shampoo, that coconut scent that lingered on my pillowcases when she traveled. I tried to focus on the familiar weight of her against me, the way her breathing slowed as she relaxed, but all I could think about was red lace and circular loops and the question that was eating me alive. Who was going to see it? "I should finish packing," she said eventually, pressing a kiss to my jaw. "Early flight tomorrow." I watched her climb the stairs, her movements easy and unhurried. If she was planning infidelity, she was remarkably calm about it. Or perhaps that was what made it so much worse. Sleep came in fragments, interrupted by dreams of red lace and faceless men in hotel rooms. I woke before my alarm, Sarah's side of the bed already empty, the shower running in our ensuite. The normalcy of it, her routine unchanged, her humming echoing off the bathroom tiles, felt surreal. Over coffee, she chattered about her flight time and the dinner reservation her team had made for Monday night. She wore her standard travel outfit: dark jeans, comfortable flats, and a soft gray sweater that made her eyes look green. Professional but approachable, attractive but not trying too hard. The perfect disguise for whatever she was really planning. "You sure you're okay?" she asked as I loaded her suitcase into the car. The weight of it seemed heavier now, loaded with more than just clothes and toiletries. "You've been off since yesterday. Just going to miss you," I said, which was true in the most painful way possible. The drive to the airport stretched like a prison sentence. Sarah's playlist filled the silence, a mix of indie folk and pop that normally made me smile. Today, every love song felt like mockery. She reached over to hold my hand at red lights, her thumb tracing circles on my palm, and I had to fight the urge to pull away. "It's only 2 days," she said as we pulled up to the departure curb. "I'll call you tonight after the presentation." She kissed me goodbye, her lips soft and familiar against mine. For a moment, I almost convinced myself I was wrong, that the lingerie had some innocent explanation I hadn't considered. But as I watched her wheel her suitcase through the automatic doors, that flash of red haunted my vision. The house felt too quiet without her. I tried to work, to focus on spreadsheets and quarterly reports, but my concentration was shot. Every few minutes, I found myself checking her location on our shared app, watching the little icon move from the airport to her hotel across the country. Such a small dot, representing such a large betrayal. I called my brother Mark that evening, desperate for someone to talk to but unable to voice my suspicions. We talked about his kids, about the basketball game he was watching, about everything except the knot of anxiety in my stomach. When he asked about Sarah, I managed to sound normal, proud even, talking about her presentation and her career advancement. "She's lucky to have you," he said. "Not every guy would be so supportive of all the travel." "Yeah?" I replied, staring at the empty wine glass in my hand. "Lucky." Tuesday crawled by like a wounded animal. Sarah texted me updates, landed safely, presentation went well, team dinner was running late. Normal wife texts, the kind she'd sent dozens of times before. But now they felt like breadcrumbs leading to something I didn't want to find. I found myself in our bedroom that evening, standing in the exact spot where I'd made the discovery. The room looked the same, but everything felt different. I opened her dresser drawer, confirming what I already knew: her usual cotton underwear, sports bras, nothing remotely resembling what I'd seen in her suitcase. This wasn't about refreshing her wardrobe or feeling confident in new clothes. This was about someone else seeing them. Sarah's flight landed at 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday. I picked her up at the usual spot, watching her emerge from the terminal with her wheeled bag and laptop case, looking tired but relieved. She slid into the passenger seat and immediately leaned over to kiss me. "God, I missed you," she said, and for a moment I almost believed her. Almost. But by Thursday, something had shifted. The woman who'd returned to me wasn't quite the same one who'd left on Monday morning. She was distant, distracted, responding to questions with half-hearted answers. When I asked about work, she gave vague responses about meetings and deadlines. When I suggested we go out for dinner Friday night, she said she was too tired. I recognized the signs. Sarah retreating into herself when something was bothering her. In the past, I gently coaxed her out of these moods, made her favorite tea and waited patiently for her to share what was troubling her. This time, I was terrified of what I might hear. Friday night, she came into our bedroom with red-rimmed eyes and shoulders that sagged with the weight of whatever she was carrying. She sat on the edge of the bed, not looking at me, her hands twisted in her lap. "I need to tell you something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. My heart hammered against my ribs. Okay, there's someone at work. David. She said his name like it was a prayer or a curse. I couldn't tell which. We've been working closely together on this project, and I started to have feelings for him. The room spun slightly. Hearing it confirmed was somehow worse than suspecting it. The lingerie, she continued, tears streaming down her face now. I bought it because I thought something might happen on this trip. I wanted to be ready just in case. Did it? The words came out strangled. We kissed, she whispered, at the hotel bar after the team dinner. We went back to his room, but I couldn't do it. I kept thinking about you, about us, about the life we're building together. I left before anything else happened. She looked up at me then, her eyes pleading. It was just a kiss, I swear. Nothing more. But I can't live with this guilt anymore. I love you, only you. I know I screwed up, but please don't let this destroy us. I stared at her. This woman I'd loved for 6 years, who'd promised to forsake all others just 2 years ago. The premeditation hurt almost more than the betrayal itself. She'd planned this, bought the lingerie, packed it with intention. I need you to leave, I said quietly. What? I need space to think. Go stay with your sister. Please, let's talk about this. No. I stood up, my legs unsteady. I can't look at you right now. Just go. The silence after she left was deafening. I sat in our living room, surrounded by the life we'd built together, the photos from our honeymoon in Italy, the throw pillows she'd insisted on buying last spring, the books we'd shared and argued about. Everything looked the same, but nothing would ever be the same again. My phone buzzed with messages from her. I'm so sorry. Please talk to me. I love you more than anything. It meant nothing. Please don't give up on us. I turned the phone face down and poured myself a drink I didn't want. Then another. The alcohol did nothing to numb the images in my head. Sarah in that red lingerie. Sarah kissing another man. Sarah planning infidelity while I cooked her breakfast and told her I'd miss her. The worst part wasn't the betrayal itself, but the careful calculation behind it. If it had been a moment of weakness, a spur-of-the-moment mistake, maybe I could have understood. But she'd shopped for that lingerie. She'd tried it on in some department store dressing room, imagining another man's hands removing it. She'd packed it carefully in her suitcase while I was downstairs making her favorite dinner. Outside, it started to rain, the drops hitting our bedroom window in a rhythm that reminded me of tears. I thought about calling Mark, or my parents, or our mutual friends, but what would I say? How do you explain that your marriage might be over because of some red lace and a drunken kiss? Instead, I sat in the dark and grieved for the life I thought we had, the future I thought we were building, the woman I thought I'd married. Somewhere across town, Sarah was probably doing the same thing, wondering if a moment of weakness was worth losing everything we'd built together. The answer, I realized as the rain continued to fall, would have to wait for morning. Or maybe longer. Some decisions, I was learning, couldn't be rushed. Even when your heart was breaking and your world was falling apart. One red piece of lingerie at a time.